Hello everyone, welcome back to another tutorial from sysadmin 102. In today's video, I will show you how to create an OpenVPN instance and set up the remote access with SSL, TLS, as well as user authentications. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share at the end of the video if you think the video is helpful. And if you are my return viewer, thank you for your support. And with that, let's get started. Alright, before we even started, let's make a copy of the system configurations. So in case anything go wrong, you can restore it from there. We are human and human make mistake. So let's just make sure that we have a backup. So navigate to system and configurations and backup. And from here, you can download the configurations, or you can encrypt the configuration as well. And there we go. So first, let's go over the requirement. So in order to set up OpenVPN instance, you will need either a public static IP address, or you will need a dynamic domain name system, DDNS. There is a free DDNS provider out there, or you can purchase one. It probably costs around like $10 per year. Depend how fancy the domain you want. It might cost a little bit more, but you can purchase one and set it up. I have a tutorial to set it up, the DDNS with OPNSense using Cloudflare. However, if you're using a different domain service provider, it's pretty similar. You can follow my tutorial as well. And let's get started. So the first step, we will need to create a local certificate authority if you haven't done so. If you already have one, you can skip to the next step. So from OPNSense, we would navigate to system and under trust, and then authorities. All right, and we're gonna add a new one. And from here, I'm gonna select create an internal certificate authority. I'm gonna call it sysadmin 102 VPN server CA. And then I want to keep at the default RSA. Then the key length, the longer the key length, the longer it takes to generate the key. So you can keep at the default 2048, or you can go up to 4096. But whatever you do, make sure that it's the same for the certificate authority, the server certificate, and the client certificate. So for this tutorial, we're just gonna keep at the default 2048. And for the digest algorithm, I will select HHA 512. The higher, the more secure. And the lifetime for the certificate is up to you, but typically 365, that's 1 year, and if you add 0, that's 10 years. And then you're gonna fill out all the applicable info. Common name, typically I like to keep it the same as the descriptive name. All right, and once you've done that, you click save. And next, we're gonna create the server certificate. So that would be step number 2 if you follow my tutorial. All right, so we're gonna go to certificate, and we're gonna select add to add a new one. All right, and we're gonna create an internal certificate. I'm gonna call it sysadmin 102 VPN server cert for certificate. And certificate of authority, make sure you select the correct one if you have multiple certificate of authority. And then the tab is gonna be server certificate. Again, RSA, we're gonna keep everything as default except for the digest algorithm. We're gonna change it to HA 512. And for the lifetime, I'm gonna give it 10 years or 3650. Okay, for a common name, so for this one, a common name, you're gonna use the fully qualified domain name FQDN for your options. If you do not have one, you can use the same like the descriptive name. So for this one, I'm gonna call it opsin.sysadmin102.org. All right, and once you've done that, select save. All right, and for next step, we're gonna create a username and generate a user certificate. So you would be on step number 3. So in order to do that, we will navigate it to system and access, and then users, and then we're gonna select add the new user. All right, and I'm gonna call it test user 1, and then we're gonna give it the password and then full name test user 1. All right, and you can create a user certificate from here, but we're gonna do it manually. All right, so if you already have a user account create, you would go to users, and you would select edit the user that you want to generate a certificate, and then we will head down to user certificate, and here we can add or create a new one. All right, and we're gonna select create an internal certificate, and then make sure you select the correct certificate authority if you have multiple, and obviously it's going to be a client certificate. Again, RSA 2048, we're going to keep at default, and then for the digest algorithm, it's going to be HA 512, and then for lifetime, I'm going to keep as a default. And common name, typically it automatically repopulated the same as the descriptive name. Make sure that your descriptive name and the common name are the same. If you're gonna enforce strictly enforce a CN or common name, if the common name and the username it didn't match, you're not gonna able to log in or authenticate with the VPN server. All right, once you've done that, select save. All right, moving on to the next step. So step 4, we can create a static key. So in order to do that, you would navigate to VPN, and then you will select OpenVPN, and you will select instances, and from there you will select static keys, and we're gonna select add a new one. I'm gonna call it OpenVPN key 1, and then we're gonna select we're gonna keep a default setting for encrypt and authenticate all control channel packets. So I'm gonna select generate a new key. All right, and we're gonna save it. Next, we're gonna create an OpenVPN instance. So you would navigate to instances, and if you follow my tutorial, it would be step number 5. All right, so we're gonna select add, and for the description, I'm gonna call it sysadmin102 VPN server, and the port number gonna be 1190 for me. All right, and it's gonna be UDP. So by default, it's gonna be 1194. However, I already have a OpenVPN server currently running using 1194, so I'm gonna use this 1190. If this is your first server, you can use 1194, or you can pick whatever applicable port that you want to use. All right, by address, this is only for if you have a public static IP address. If you do not have one, leave it blank. Then server IP, we're gonna use class A private IP address, so 10.168.1.1 1.8.0 and subnet 24. So keep in mind that you should select the unique subnet, because if it is the same subnet with wherever the common router, such as like 10.0.0.1/24 or 192.168.0.0, these are common subnet, and if it's the same with the router that you connected to, VPN won't know how to route the packages because it not uniquely identify the locations. All right, and server IPv6, this is optional if you want to have IPv6. If not, you can keep it blank. Topology is going to be a subnet, and then certificate, we're going to select the server certificate that we created earlier. All right, keep everything default, and then do not check, we're going to select one client plus server, and then TLS static key, we're going to select the static key that we just created in the last step. And authentications are going to be a local database, or if you want to use TOTP servers, that's your options. And then strict user CN matching. So when you authenticating a user, and if you enforce match between the common name and the client certificate with the username given at login, if you enforce this, if the username and the CN or common name of the client certificate, it didn't match, that username won't be able to log in with that certificate. You will have to regenerate a certificate. So the option is yours if you want to enforce CN matching or you not. For the use case such as you sharing the certificate with multiple users, this option should be off. All right, and local network, this is going to be your local IP address. So for me, it's going to be 10.13.2.0 and subnet 24. All right, remote network going to be blank. Options, I'm going to select client to client. That let two clients in the same tunnel able to connect to each other. Again, if you want to read more about the options, head over to my website, and I have the definition for each one of the options. All right, and put options, we can select a push log outside DNS. So this is gonna lock the outside DNS and reassure DNS. Keep in mind, this is my only work for Windows. And redirect gateway. So if you selected options, all traffic gonna be routed to the VPN tunnel. However, if you selected option, you have to either set up a NAT or some kind of like interface and rules in the firewall. So that's why that it know how to route the traffic. If you keep this thing off, you're still able to connect to the remote site and access the resources, but your internet still gonna go through the untunnel. So you still go to unencrypted traffic, whatever the internet you connected to. All right, so for this one, we're gonna select default. And again, all the options and the definitions and what it do, I have it on my website. So if you wanna check it out, all right. And we have a reassure DNS. So you can either select a push reassure DNS, or you can select the option, either one is fine. And then DNS default domain. This is if you have a domain. If you don't have a DNS, local DNS, then you can keep it blank. And then for DNS servers, it's going to be my DNS server 10.13.2.1, or you can add it quad 9 or Cloudflare DNS server. There we go. And if you want to have NTP servers, it's optional as well. And once you've done that, select Save. And don't forget to hit Apply Changes. Alright, in the next step, we're going to assign an interface to the VPN server. So that would be step number 6 if you follow along my tutorial. Alright. And we go to navigate to interfaces. And then we will select assignments. And from here, under add new interface, we will select the OpenVPN servers. As you see, I have 2 of it. And the one I just created, the 1190. And you can change the description, or you can use the pre-populated one and select add. Alright, when we added it, make sure that you save it. And then we're gonna select the sysadmin 102 VPN server 1190, the new interface that we just created, and we're gonna enable that interface, and we're gonna prevent the interface removal, and we're gonna save it. And don't forget to apply changes. Alright, now that we have the interface created, next step is to add firewall rules. So in order to do that, you would navigate to firewall, and you will select rules, and we're gonna set the WAN, wide area network rule first. So the first rule we're gonna create is to allow the outside traffic to access the VPN servers. As you see, I already have one for 1194 open. Now we're gonna create a new one. Alright, and first one action is gonna be pass, and apply WAN traffic gonna be in, and we're gonna allow either IPv4 or IPv6 protocol. We're gonna allow any protocol, or you can select for this case I'm gonna select TCP or UDP. Alright, and for the destinations, we're gonna select WAN address. Okay, and right here the destination port is gonna be if this is your first one and you select 1194, you will select OpenVPN from here. If you select any port other than 1194, you will select other, and then you would specify the port number in here, which is IU 1190 instead. Alright, and once you've done that, select save, and don't forget to select apply changes. Alright, now we're gonna add a second rule. This is to allow the clients to access whatever IP address they intended to access, or you intended for them to have access to. So we select sysadmin 102 VPN server 1190, the one you just created earlier, and we would select add a new rule, and again it's gonna be pass. Everything should be a default. TCP IP, again I'm gonna select both IPv4 and IPv6 any, and then for the source it's gonna be the sysadmin 102 VPN server 1190 net. Alright, and everything should be any, and that should be it. Keep in mind, this is to keep it simple, I select any for destinations. That means that this VPN tunnel will have access to all the resources offered by this OPSIN router. Any subnet it will have access to. You can choose whatever subnet or customize it to limit the amount of access that anybody can access this VPN server have access to. That's totally up to you, but for the simplicity of this tutorial, we're gonna select any, but again twist it to whatever applicable for you. and we're gonna save it. And again, don't forget to apply changes. All right, and we should be at the last step, which is step number A, which is exporting the client. This is super simple. So what you would do is you would go back to VPN and select OpenVPN and select client export, and from here you're gonna select the remote server. So I'm gonna select the one we just created, which is 1190, and export tab is gonna be file only unless you use the rainbow or viscosity. All right, host name. So this is when it comes down to if you have a public static IP address, you would put your static IP address in here. If you do not, you would use your DDNet or dynamic DNS address. All right, and of course it's gonna be 1190. If you use the default OpenVPN, it's gonna be 1194. And from there, you just select download to download the certificate. And from there, you should be able to import the certificate with any OpenVPN client. If you're on Mac, you can airdrop it to your iPhone. If you have the app already downloaded, it automatically opens with the apps. And from there, you just input your username and password for that users, and you should be able to access the OpenVPN server. If you think this tutorial is helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye bye.